My role at Merakoi is I'm the engagement manager. So I am the main point of contact for the client, and I am there to make sure that their objectives are fully met. And I'm also there to coordinate the internal project team and the external project team. And I'm responsible for budget and timelines as well. So I'm sure my colleagues get fed up of me banging on about timelines. It's very important. And where I influence the patient expert voice is I think it's keeping the project on track so that they have a smooth experience and to make sure that the client objectives are met thoroughly, which basically means that the patient voice is then taken into the real world in a meaningful way. I think that patient voices are the project. They're the reason that Merakoi exists. It's all about the Merakoi ethos. And so without them, we wouldn't even have a project. So for me, they are the number one voice. In terms of making it better, I think I'm going to go back again to say that my biggest priority is making sure that the client's objectives are met and that we can, because that basically means that then the insights that the patient experts give will actually be turned into real world value. And that's the main objective. For me, I think, and especially at Merakoi, we definitely make a distinction between patient experts and patients. And that's not to say there's not value in both. It's just that with us, we work very much with patient experts, which means that they can give deeper insights. They speak for their communities. They're really involved in their networks and they bring a lot to a project. They are confident in front of clients and they just have that extra degree. So it's a little bit more than just a market research questionnaire. I think that maybe that's not understood always. And I think with us, we need to be really crystal clear about that as our unique selling point to clients and also to the patient experts themselves. I feel like when a patient insight changes the direction of the work, I'm often surprised about how obvious it feels in hindsight. So it's quite often just the burden of living with a disease. And for example, things like patient experts telling us that they don't understand the information that's coming from the pharmaceuticals. It's not in layman's language. It's not common language. It makes no sense to them. And for me, it's always surprising. There is a gap there and it does feel obvious, but it isn't. And I think that's really important. And I think that always influences the direction of a project in the end, is trying to simplify things, bridging the gap between pharmaceutical language and patient language. One thing that clients can do in week 0 that saves everybody pain later, I think, is to be really, really clear about what they want, really, really clear about their timelines, really, really clear about things like compliance that will probably impact the project later on. This is caveated, of course, with the fact that, we need to make sure that we're understanding the very clear brief and that we're asking for it. So it's definitely not a one-sided thing. But I think we often don't spend as much time in the planning stage as we could. And we want to start the projects and hit the ground running, which is fantastic because we are very flexible and adaptable. But it can mean that we end up chasing our tail when we should actually be delivering the project. So just a little bit more space for planning upfront would be so helpful for everyone. My work theme song is by David Bowie, who's amazing, and it's Changes, of course. So the first lyric of that is turn and face the strange. And I feel like, in projects, the one thing that's certain is that nothing will go according to plan. And you just have to be ready to be flexible and adaptable and find solutions quickly. So yeah, changes. Perfect.
Tap that button.